So and took, so interesting. The very first thing that I see right off the bat, the root of this is lakak, and the lamed is missing. So this is that word lakak, meaning to take, and the light, the lamed, is usually removed because a lamed, a teaching shepherd of light, doesn't take, they give. So this, there's no instruction that's coming with this. There's no taking. The light bearer isn't taking here, but it's a double kuf. So if it's a double kuf and it's a double compression of light, already, I'm looking, okay, a double kuf, that's pretty profound. And then the het to find life, right? So we've got double yods and double kufs. That's already pretty fascinating. And then right after that is the olive tav that is connected to the calf. So having the eyes to see how to gather the instructions that is being revealed individually. That's already how it's starting. So, whenever I see this olive tav conjunctive dash to a word, I know that it's instructions in one love, right? One strong covenant through the language. And the calf, I don't know how far to chase it down. Yeah. So here's interesting. This is so interesting, Regina. So calf, look at what the root is. Do you see it? It says to revolve and circular. Round, to revolve, circular. So what we're looking at, so you would never ever see this. This is why I get so fascinated chasing it down to the root value. Because if it's revolving and it's circular, right? The revolving and the circular, that comes from the inculcation through the olive tav of what we are learning year after year after year after year, going round and round, which is revealing to us what we need to see to gather to be instructed. Oh my gosh! So that we have fire upon our head. That is so amazing, right? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, because well, in the lower narrative, he's dealing with wayward children.
I know.
Yeah.
But when you see, so again, this is the part of where we have to separate the narratives, right? We get so caught up in the narratives that we have to separate the narratives because these writings are outside of the narrative. So when we look at it, what is really going on? This might be the troubling aspect for sharing this with somebody that wants to connect it with narratives, right?
Yes.
But when you see the meta, meaning how we can change and transform ourselves, it is saying so much right here. Right? And then making, so a saw is the root to make, to be able to see the purpose of the fire. And notice, look, it's the Dagesh on the left side. So this is the fire of Father, so that we can connect to him in the meekness, power under control. That's the beginning part. Whoa. So fire upon the heads of the leaders is the oneness that burns up that which would separate us in the lower, poor, and destitute, because the lower, poor, and destitute portion of the Resh is the ego. That's what makes us poor and destitute. So then and look, oh, I'm getting so excited. Sorry, because this is like all being revealed to me as I'm doing this, on the fly with you. Look at what this is. This is Seraph. This is the beginning of the word seraphim. So connecting to mother in humility and teachability, twin visions that are given to give you power so that you can be a being of substance, raising you up so that you have a mouth that can speak. So in other words, okay, so even though this is a fallen pay, this is the seraphic message that is meant to lift you up, but it has to come down first, right? Yeah. The language has to come down in order to lift you up. And then look, so that you can build inside fire, because the bet's on the front. So you can build inside fire. That's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is cool. Okay. So what do we have here? To grind and to crush. I'm already seeing kind of where it's going with the next word. I kind of cheated. I looked at the next word ahead. So I'm like, what's going on here? So it's takan and it's to grind meal, hence, to be a concubine. So a
not really, not a bride.
no. So this is one that is having intimacy, but no covenant, no protection. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. So Tet, Het noon. So wrestling, right, in life while you're in your fallen flesh. And that makes sense when you look at the letters. If this is the employment of a concubine, you know, you're
Larry.
wrestling.
Join the meeting.
There's more people that are joining the meeting and I haven't let them in. That's all right. So again, the whole purpose. So what do we see the resolve here? Connect to mother, right? You need to be teachable. You need to be humble. These two visions are going to be given to you. But as a concubine that is used to having intimacy, in order to get you to the place where you're dealing with your lower flesh, you're going to have to wrestle with it. You've been set on the outside of the covenant. So you have to find life. You have to find chava, which is the revelation of Father, while you're in the flesh suit in order to do what? This word right here, this next word means to be a witness and a testimony. That is part of one of the meanings. You know, this, it's like to or upon, but when you trace it, this has to do with adornment. This has to do with being a witness and a testimony. And it makes sense because you have the eyes to see to go through the door, right? Going through the door of the inner man where you're seeing where you're weak and feeble. And look, it's Asher again. To be happy, to be prosperous, having fire upon your head. So again, if we look at that word before about the seraph, the seraphic message, it's fire on the head, that is connected to powder. And just looking at the letters, it's the door where you go inward to compress light. Wow. And this makes sense too, because what are we crushing and pulverizing? If the word up above is talking about the fallen flesh, we're talking about the beast ego nature that we're pulverizing, the things that are in the lesser order, you know, because that's the whole point of going in, getting rid of the things, pulverizing the things that are keeping us from being able to find that narrow path between the light and the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting, these would be the last two letters of the word Zadik.
Zadik? Oh, yeah.
Zadik for righteousness. We're just missing the Zadi, right? Is that, I mean, that's how you spell Zedek. And it's from, it looks like Dakak. What is going on here? Oh, two compressions. Okay. So it's meant to have two compressions of light. And that makes sense because if you're going from a concubine in the fallen flesh, we know that there's one teaching that has to come first, which is mother, which tames the fallen beast ego nature in order for you to get to the second compression of light, which is father. So mother gets you ready to be the bride. You enter into the be truth as the betrothed. The second compression gets you ready to be the wife. Ha! That is so amazing. Boy, I have never, ever seen this. This is the first time I've seen this verse, and it is so amazing. That is so amazing. Okay, so scattered it, to cast away, to winnow, to compass. Oh my gosh, Regina. This is tying in the encompassing or the compass, going around the circle of the compass, because that's what it was talking about at the beginning, about going around circular. Wow, I'm gonna have to share this one with Ken. The connection on this will be amazing because again, it starts out, these double yods, it's incredible how many double yods are here. So again, it's telling you, you need to connect to mother. So that those who are winnowed, so when it's scattered, we know that winnowed has to do with the barley bride. So taking the concubine, raising them up so that they can be winnowed to be a first fruit leader. But again, connect to mother. She's going to give you the twin visions. You are going to have to face the sword and the plow, cutting off that which doesn't lift you up or, you know, is no longer serving you in order to raise you up to be a first fruit leader. And then the next word has to do with ascension, right? So you can see the purpose of the teachings, which is the ascension process, which is upon over the face of the water. So face is interesting because it's from the word pana and it means to turn, to face, to appear. So the ascension process, right? So we go through the winnowing process, we go through the ascension process. We are given the ability to see the teachings and why we're doing it so that we can turn and appear as one who has been given power from the Father, from the left hand, because we went the way of right first. This is the power from the Father. And these are the mouths that are going to be speaking this spiritual path that is going to be giving power to others, which is the word and or the work and the deed of our own hand by going on the inside. This is the power to become revealed as having gone through the water. This is so amazing because this is like going through the water is like that baptism, the mikvah, right? Walking between the two paths of mother and father when the water was divided in the sea of reeds, in the sea of scrolls, mother and father's teaching that has power on the middle, and it's going to be revealed to you and you're going to be made to drink it. This is from, I think, Shaka.
This don't say it's gold anyway, right?
Well, I think gold is going to come
It's
later.
not grounded up. It wasn't, well.
No, gold isn't in this verse. I don't see it so far. To quaff, to irrigate, to furnish a potion.
The calf was gold, is the only thing.
Right. Interesting. To furnish a potion to. A potion. So if we're even thinking about ormus, right? I'm just connecting that because, ormus with the ground gold, because it's a conductor, right? Gold is one of the best conductors out there. In a higher metal that has a higher vibration as pure gold, as fine gold, not covering gold on the outside, but gold on the inside.
Yeah, not gold plate.
Yeah. No. And so again, look at this over and over, Regina. Almost all of these have the Vav in the front with the double Yod. So this is saying, may drink it. Well, Yod Shin means to be a being of substance because you've compressed light. And then what do we have after that? We have the Aleph Tav. Aleph Tav that is connected to the sons of Israel. Oh my gosh, the upright ones who have been given the ability to see. So they're the upright ones, right? That are beings of substance, that are of the princely nature, right? Because Sar Shalom, that means royalty or being risen to the place of leadership as God. Those who have wrestled and overcome as the sons who have built with power. And they did it through the language, the Aleph Tav. So this verse is completely different than what we would think connecting it to the narrative. Because this is telling us that by going through this process, then we become those who are a being of substance that compress light through the Aleph Tav as the strong covenant leaders, one covenant of one love that built it as Israel. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That is pretty doggone amazing. So,
The tough
anyway,
thing
huh?
to explain, like she's looking for more of a material answer. Not that it doesn't have a spiritual component, but she's looking for a material answer, and there isn't.
There's not. Because the language, Hebrew and Aramaic, aren't meant to be of the physical nature. It's all spiritual. And, it's written as in a historic format, as a history book per se, but it was written to get into the deeper teachings. It was like a way of hiding the original, the deeper teachings for those who had made themselves ready for it.